Hey everyone. So today I'm going to go through using PX4 with the Swarm Developer client. We're also going to take a look at the ROS node and sort of the data that we're going to be using there. So first things first, right? We have our simulation settings file. So if you're familiar with the platform, or even if you've just read the documentation, this is sort of your main control panel. This is where everything gets set up and you're able to use this. So we have a couple of different sections here. I'll run through them really quickly. We're going to run for 900 seconds. This is arbitrary. You can run this for as long as you want. We also have our free play, so that the environment's just going to run for the set number of seconds that you have, and then it'll shut down. We're going to run through the mountain village environment. You'll see that in a second, what that means. We're recording a video here. And then, this is really the most important part for our agents. We have two flags that need to be set. So you have your use local PX4, and then you also have run ROS node. So use local PX4 is for running your own external PX4 system away from the Swarm developer environment. And then the ROS node automatically spins up a ROS node that has this vehicle in the namespace. So everything's automated for you. We're also going to be running the autopilot PX4, and we're going to have our planning coordinate frame be in east, north, and up. So we're also going to have a LiDAR, a ton of sensors. Some of these are actually required for PX4 to work properly. We're going to be getting odometry. We're going to have a camera as well. Everything else is pretty arbitrary, really not needed. I think the only thing that you want to have here is maybe lower your Z value just a little bit. This affects where you spawn inside of Unreal Engine. So I have my container has been already preloaded, so you download this container. I'm on my local laptop today, so that's kind of what you'd have. But I'll go ahead and run that. So once you get a bunch of startup noise, but then once you see attempting to wait for new connection, this is when you know that the server is actually running. The simulator itself's not running yet. However, the server is waiting for your connection. So here I kind of have my command that I'm going to run. I'm just going to say, hey, I want the map to be Mountain Village. I want my sim settings to be the PX4 simulation settings, this file name that I'm using right here. So this is going to ask you a couple of questions, and then it's off to the races. You'll see a bunch of output, and then what you're looking for is saying, okay, Unreal Engine is running. Your computer's fan should probably kick on at this point, and streamer connected. That tells you, okay, everything seems to be working, and now, hey, we have simulation is running. Now we're in a good spot. So we can go ahead and connect to this. So you can see here we have a home, and we're in our nice mountain village environment. We'll fly through this in a second, so you get a good look at it and kind of see what you have there. Next, and this is pretty important. So I'm going to run all of that, and then I'm going to run my PX4 simulator. And so this is really important because of the way that Unreal Engine spawns UAVs inside of its environment. It sort of tosses them in there, and that causes really high velocity settings, which can be kind of a problem. So I'll go ahead and start that. We'll see that it immediately connects. Everything's good to go. I have my partner IP. Once home is set and everything's good to go, then I know that I am able to use the system. So I already kind of created a nice little route for us here inside of PX4 and give it a nice altitude, so we'll kind of be at a good phase there. Everything looks good, so we'll go to fly. You should see ready to fly. Everything should be fine. We're going to go ahead and take off and fly around this environment. So first things first, you're going to get this error message here. It says vehicle rejected arming. That's a CIDL thing. It has to do with how all the vehicles are set up. Don't worry about it. It's not going to make a difference here. So yeah, now you can see this really big, really nice Unreal Engine environment. We're going to be flying at about 100 feet, so you'll get a really good view of the whole thing. There's weather effects that could be added in here as well. There's a number of different options. And so now the agent is going to fly exactly the way that it should fly in the real world. And it's going to be able to go ahead and go to its points. You can see that we have a number of different houses here. PX4 does the interesting stopping thing at each waypoint. So this is all, with a mission. Now, one of the other kind of key uses that you can use this for is the offboard mode. And so that is supported in this system. And you're able to sort of utilize that. I'll make another demonstration where we're actually able to use that. I think the speed was like 10 miles per hour. So that's why you see it sort of floating around just a little bit. And so, just as a reminder, you can click on the screen, you can run, you could run a camera, you can look at a couple of different views. This is the depth camera, so you're not going to see anything. This is a segmentation image, but you're able to kind of watch it fly around. And then you can see here, this is a bit more of the houses. And so everything looks, really the same. If you've ever flown PX4 or used PX4 extensively, I mean, this is sort of what you get from that. And so just as a note, right, this streaming is all coming through my web browser, and this is our technology where we're able to run in the cloud, and then you can actually run directly in this environment on your local computer, and there is no difference. If I was running this very locally, i.e. I was running the game locally, my graphics would actually be a little bit better. However, right, just trying to make this, as accessible and easy as possible, we decided, we need to use the browser to make that happen. So now we're kind of coming back in for a landing. You can see that our error here is pretty small. It looks like it cut a corner. Really, that was the only key issue, but it's going to come down for a landing. So, through our testing, and we're using version 1.13 of PX4, we really don't see any difference in performance, functionality, really anything. The only thing we did see is that the position controller gains are really high. So if you just say go to 6.6 in off-board mode, it will oscillate a lot. But that's a function of the controller gains and also a function of how you provide trajectory information. So you sort of have to know what you're doing. It's sort of what PX4 provides. So it does its really nice return to launch. I definitely think there's updates and features we're going to add, like noise and wind. Obviously, everyone knows wind is probably one of the biggest key factors here that makes this, would make this more useful. And so we know that, and we're going to be able to make that happen. Cool. Okay, so now the agent has landed, so we'll go ahead and we'll turn off the simulation. So we'll go ahead and kill it. So you just hit Control-C. That's a really nice, easy way to do that. That turns off everything else and ends the simulation. We'll go ahead and end our PX4. And there you have it. So that is running PX4. Sort of looking through that process. Really, if you're able to get the simulation settings file right, and if you have any questions, we have our documentation. Please let us know, and please let us know if there's any other features that you want to see. Thanks.